Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today we're going to talk about a soft plastic bait that I consider to be one of the best fish catching lures ever made, but it's also one of the most underutilized soft plastics by bass anglers. I really think a lot of you are missing the boat on this and you really should give it a try. So I'm going to walk you through the baits and the techniques that I think you need to apply it in. Before I do get into that, I do want to remind you that I do a bunch of lake breakdowns with fishthemoment.com. We provide you with a bunch of waypoints for specific parts of different lakes based on the season. So if you're looking for a little help on your local lakes, or maybe you're taking a vacation to a different lake, you might want to check out the lake breakdowns. I'll put the link in the video description. Also, if you're looking to support the channel, I've got a Tackle Warehouse affiliate link, and it would be great to have you make your tackle purchases using my affiliate link. So I'll put that in the video description as well. It's very, very much appreciated. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. I want to share a little story with you. I was fishing a northern lake. I'm not going to give you the name, but it's a mixed bag lake. Lots of largemouth, lots of smallmouth, and I was fishing a team event. Now, I was fishing in practice throwing a full size tube. And generally, a tube is a great, great bait on this lake. The lake has a bunch of rock mixed in with eelgrass patches and some various different types of grass, sand grasses, that has a great population of largemouth and smallmouth. Lots of good quality fish as well. And generally, a tube is a very good way to go about fishing this lake because you can crack it through the sandgrass, catch a lot of bass doing it. On this particular day, though, I was not catching any fish. I may have had one or two bites, but I recognized pretty quickly that my team partner in the back of the boat, remember this was practice, was catching probably four to my one fish. And they were doing it with the same bait, but it was a mini tube. It was not a full size tube. And by mini tube, what I'm referring to are generally 2 to 2.5 inch baits. They're much smaller than a standard 3.5 or 4 inch tube, as you can see right there. And really, what they do is provide you with a much more compact design and something that a lot of times the fish haven't seen. These mini tubes are unbelievable to me at how good they are at producing fish. As a little background even on this bait, so this is the Berkeley Max Scent tube. This is just the little 2.5 incher. So several years ago, we had right when Berkeley was producing the Max Scent, we had a pro staff meeting where we sat down and we talked about the new products that were coming out. One of those new products was the full size Berkeley Max Scent tube. And during that pro staff call, I would say 3 or 4 of us mentioned how we wanted a mini tube. We were excited that they were coming out with a max scent tube, but what we really wanted was a little tube. And at that point, Berkeley said, "Well, we don't have plans for it." Well, I can tell you the demand was so strong that within a few months, they came out with this guy, the little 2.5 inch mini max scent tube. And for good reason. It's because the anglers out there are cracking them on it. It really is very, very productive to the point I very rarely throw a full size tube anymore. So I've got 3 standard tubes that I like to use, and I can't say I've got any specific time or place when I prefer one over another. It just seems like I like to rotate through these. The first, obviously, here is the Berkeley Max Scent 2.5 inch tube that I just showed you. This is just the standard green pumpkin. The next one is called the Intimidator. It's the ISG Mini Intimidator tube. So that's the package right here. This is actually a local Wisconsin company. I'm not sure if Tackle Warehouse carries them. If they do, I'll put a link in the video for you. They're just really good, high quality little tubes. And then the last one is the Xtreme Bass Tackle. This is what they consider their drop shot tube, but it's just, again, a little mini tube. It's a little 2.5 incher. They make amazing colors. This is the St. Clair Goby color. So they actually, most of their colors are kind of named after a lot of the different like smallmouth fisheries, because a lot of people consider tubes to be strictly smallmouth, but they 100% are not. You catch largemouth, spotted bass, and smallmouth on them. One of the biggest difficulties, though, I will tell you, is that finding a hook that properly fits these tubes is kind of difficult. But I will give you a little tip. One of the best hooks I've ever used for it, and this was not on purpose, but this has been something I've been using all year now, is this little guy right here. This is the Ultimate Swim Bait Hook by Core Tackle. It's the Tush, as we refer to it. This is the 2/0 3/16 inch size. So if you like throwing little tubes, I highly recommend giving them a try. They just slide right up just like a normal tube hook, and you just push the eye out just like we just had, and you've got your little tube hook, and it's super sharp, stronger than most other mini tube hooks, so it's a really good hook for fishing these mini tubes. But there's two ways I like to fish these. The first, obviously, on a standard in a standard tube jig presentation with the tush hook here, where I'm either stroking it, cracking it, as some people call it. So I'm really trying to get it high off the bottom and then let it fall crazy back to the bottom. Generates a lot of strikes. You can drag it on the bottom as you would a lot of other tubes. And then the other way is actually to fish it on a drop shot. A lot of people do not fish little mini tubes on a drop shot, but I can assure you that the best smallmouth fishermen out there have experimented with this, and it's one of their favorite drop shot baits. It's something that's happening all over to the place, to the point where Xtreme Bass Tackle actually calls their little 2.5-inch tube the drop shot tube. So don't take it just from me. It is very, very much a trend in the small tube world. But if you're not fishing these little tubes, guys, you really need to give them a try. They are excellent. They catch a pile of fish. I mean, when you think about tubes, tubes are one of the ultimate fish catching tools. There are mega tubes, like 12-inch tubes that they make for muskie and pike fishing. And then there's 1-inch tubes that you can catch bluegill and crappie and all that stuff on. And then every size in between for bass and walleye. I mean, it catches all game fish species. But don't be sleeping on these little guys. These little guys are, in my opinion, better than a full-size tube. So let me know in the comment section. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you have a little tube that you really like using? Is there another technique that you like to use small tubes for? Share it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow for you.